how do you currently work to deepen your faith and to keep that overflow coming?
Okay. The first thing I do is I have a consistent time. I, I'm not a disciplined person by nature,
Okay.
but there's things that you have to do that you have to be disciplined in. And so I've got to have regular time with God.
Hmm.
Um, and so and so I have regular time in the Word. Now, 2.5, 3 years ago, when I was in Africa, my Bible fell apart, and so I couldn't use it because it was falling apart. So I started using my Bible app and preaching from my phone and things like this. What I began to find is I always had my Bible with me.
Right.
And so I began doing all kinds of things, from using devotional plans, but reading through books of the Bible, I read through the whole Bible, just taking books and going through it. But there's a consistency in, I just have to get that done. It's not a guilt thing. It's not this thing like, oh no, if I don't get it done. It's more like, um, I used to say, I have to have that hunger inside
Hmm.
that I want more of God. And that's what I would look for. That sometimes when life gets heavy, it's hard.
Yeah.
But I need to have this hunger on the inside, so I cultivate the hunger. Uh, if I if I did something right now, and if those of you who are watching were in the room with us, if I brought in a pizza, piping hot pizza, and just set it there, you and I would be smelling this
Right.
pizza. And it wouldn't take very long. Suddenly, we're going to say, we're going to put this on hold and we're going to have some pizza and come back to you.
Right.
Because just the smell cultivates that hunger.
Yeah.
I have to do things that cultivate a hunger for God, so that I'm wanting to be with Him.
Right.
I want to be with Him.
Yeah.
I have playlists on my phone,
Hmm.
so that there's different things. If I'm in a difficult time, I want to get into the presence of God. If I need victory, I've had a playlist that just victory, that within one or two songs I'm going, praise the Lord,
Yeah.
but I'm doing this not for anybody else, but I'm doing it for me, so that I know how to cultivate that hunger and maintain uh, this hunger and this presence of God in my life.
Awesome.
So one last thing with that.
Yeah.
I'm 65 years old. Um, so when you start getting older, and I've been a pastor, I've been a missionary, I worked with churches and missionaries, there aren't as many people around that are like mentors for me.
Right.
But rather, I'm one that gives to other people. So I have to be intentional to have people in my life,
Right.
but I also have to be intentional to develop my spiritual life, not based on what somebody else says or does.
Yeah.
What do I do if I come to a Sunday and I got nothing? I don't have the option of phoning it in, saying, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to be into work today." No, but
True.
I have to be able to do this, and so I have to. There's a terminology that I read years ago, and you're going to like this. It's the terminology called self-feeding.
Okay.
And you learn to feed yourself spiritually instead of waiting for somebody else to feed you.
Okay.
So like in church, we usually say we're usually looking for the pastor to teach us so we're fed spiritually. I don't go to church to be fed, because I ought to be feeding myself all week long. Now,
Great.
they're going to push me to another place, but I have to learn to feed myself.
Yeah.
And I'm the one responsible for that. So I don't want to be a person that says, I'm not getting fed here. It's not the responsibility.
Right.
It's your responsibility. You're a child of God.
That is exactly right. I think a lot of our Christian culture here has forgotten that, or is relying on the church to feed them instead of.
But you see, then we have so many Christians, and I'm certain nobody who's watching right now, but
Right.
but we have a lot of Christians who don't feed themselves all week long, and so by the end of the week, they're just dragging themselves spiritually along,
Right.
and they got to get something from service.
Yeah.
However, if you're feeding yourself all week long, then when you get to Sunday, it's just taking you to another level.
Icing on the cake.